Alright, hey y'all, what is up? Feeling pretty hyped because it is the Lunar New Year, so I'm wearing this red. I was thinking about what to talk about with y'all this week, and with the new year again, I thought I would bring up the life binder, and I hope this helps. If you're watching this in February, I think like there's some stat that like 80% of people have given up on this year at this point. So guys, I'm here to tell you be strong and we could do it together, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of how, give you some inspiration hopefully. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Maddie, and I just talk about everything with the theme of self and planet well-being. So whether that be abstract stuff like, you know, these life and reality shifts that I'll be talking about in this video, to more of the tangible stuff, so like beauty stuff, wavy hair if you have wavy hair like me, style, sustainability tips, anything like that. And if you're into self and planet well-being, well, you should definitely subscribe. Anyways, back to the life binder. If you want to have your life organized, and especially if you're out of school, like now that I'm out of school, why do I kind of reminisce on the school days when I had my little binder and it was just so cute, like I pulled it out for my classes, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, like in class like that. Basically the life binder is just having all of your get your life together agenda, your plot in this one place physically for you to be able to review. And I'll be taking you through what's in my life binder, kind of the way I have it set up. And I'll also link I don't know how I'm going to share it yet, but either through like an outline or through a template, a canvas, some sort that you can just get, so it'll fast track your way of making this if you want to. I know for some people, they just put their vision board on the binder. I like my things to look unsuspecting, if that makes sense. So I just took a old binder, all right, and it's too thick for how much pages I have in here, but it's very sleek. But obviously if you want to make yours cute, if you want to decorate it, you know, definitely have a party with it, because it should feel good when you see it, because it's your life and it's your binder. So the first page I have personally is a little like theme page, like what is the theme. So this can be like growth, this can be healing, this can be just like level up in general. A little disclaimer, I wish I could share all the details of what's in my life binder the way that Fernanda so openly shared, and I appreciate, but I'm just gonna keep mine private if you guys can understand, and if you don't mind, just because it is the internet after all. You never know who's watching, you never know the creepy people. I trust most of you, but since this is public, it cannot be public. So yeah, first page, what I have is just a word, a phrase, a quote that just every time you see it, you're like, okay, yes. And this is a binder that I personally have to review every day or every other day, at least frequently enough, so that I am reminded of this. I've been doing this for 2 weeks now, and every day when I see my first page, I'm still like, it's like fresh. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. For my second page, what I have is my highest self, and I use like a doodle, or you can use like a graphic art or some picture that you draw out that just represents your highest self. And this exercise is just, you know, I feel like when we're planning stuff like this, it can be helpful to envision what your highest self is, like who you want to be, because I've watched so many videos on this type of stuff. A lot of it is about shifting your identity, because we have this like a wired identity in our heads about who we are, who we're supposed to be. But the interesting stuff is all that can change, and you don't have to be that person that you think you are. If you want to be someone else, you have to shift your identity, and you identify with the new identity. And it's really important to identify who that highest self is. Who is she? This is a simulation. This is just a game. You can choose your character. So choose that character. Who is that character? You know, note it down. I have noted down these characteristics. So one of mine, this one I feel like I can share, is just like serving the world with value. Because I genuinely feel like we live in a very self-serving world. Be a giver. You know, The Giver. What a great book. Not related to what I'm saying, but being a giver, serving the world with value, like this is who I identify as my high self. This page was actually taken from an exercise from my 30-day breakthrough blueprint journal. I'll see if I can put a page of the exercise from my journal in here somewhere, because I made it when I was like super at a low point and just feeling stuck, and that's why I needed a breakthrough. So I made the breakthrough blueprint because it was like all the exercises that I did in that time when I felt really stuck and honestly sad, and those exercises helped me to get out of it. So yeah, I will link that down below in case you're interested. But moving on to the next page, I have this page called the 2024 designs, and I call it design because it's like you design your life, but it's basically goals. Yeah, I have this thing with how I choose words and vocabulary, and goals kind of feels like obviously it's not been met yet, but designs, it's like I'm designing it and I'm creating it, so it's happening. Anyways, you can call it goals if you want. I just call it designs, and then I have 3 columns here. First column is the design itself, or the goal itself. The second column is the why, and then the third column is the how. So for most people, when we choose our designs or our goals, it's usually just writing it out as it is. So for example, exercise 3 times a week or something like that, and I've done that in the past, but for me, I definitely feel like I need more of a reason. Like, why though? And I need an emotional reason, and that is just really helpful to review because it also just gives you more clarity on why exactly do you want those designs. Because when I was even making my designs, and I only have 4, I think it's very important to narrow it down because there's obviously probably so much, but I don't want to be too scattered. Put it all down, see how it feels, and then take away what doesn't feel necessary. And especially when you're making your whys, you'll find that some of the things that you wanted to put as your goal, you don't really know why, and then that's when you know maybe it's not a priority. And then the how column is just like how I think I can make this happen. So if your goal again is to exercise 3 times a week, the why can be to be healthier, feel fitter, feel stronger in your body, etc. I mean, this is literally all reasons I have written down before. And then the how can be setting up a workout schedule, preparing my workout clothes beforehand. I just make my life easier. This is making your life easier. It's all it is. A lot of times we just have so much going on in our brain. This helps to organize it. The page after 2024 designs is quarterly designs. If you've watched my video on the 12-week year, which is another organization system that I'm doing at the same time, I'm just testing out which one is really good or which one I prefer. 12-week year makes you think differently about your years. So instead of thinking about a year as in 12 months, you think about it in 12 weeks. Because a lot of people like to put things off until the last minute. So instead of, only doing things when it comes to October, November, December, you do things now, or you get closer to achieving whatever it is because you feel like, oh my gosh, you only have 12 weeks to do it. So this is kind of how I am implementing the 12 weeks into the Life Binder. So 12 weeks is 90 days, essentially. It's essentially 3 months, and it's a quarter. The reason why the authors say it's the 12-week year is not just a quarter is because, again, you think about it differently in terms of the wording. For a quarter, you still think there's time after that in a year, but for a 12-week year, that's it. That's what it is. After the 12 weeks, you're done with the year. That is already mentally in my head. So I still call it quarterly designs. On this page, I have essentially a grid, and it just says Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then it sees where I can break down the designs from the whole year into the quarterly. and you can think about it as 4 12-week years. Going back to the exercising goal, the quarterly design for this might look like, for like Q1, let's say, focusing on exercising Pilates, and then Q2 can be focused on whatever HIIT workouts, and then Q3, so like experimenting with different types of workouts throughout the year maybe. Or you can even level it up and be like, Q1 exercise 3 times a week, Q2 exercise 4 times a week, and then Q3 exercise 5 times a week, and then Q4 exercise 6 days a week. So yeah, there's just so many different ways to do it, and it really just helps me, at least, to see everything from this bird's eye perspective, and it helps to make it more approachable and more fun. So then the following 4 pages after that are just the quarters / the 12-week years and each month within. So for example, for Q1, I have January, February, and March, each as a little box. And within each of those boxes, I put in milestones. So going back to the exercise 3 times a week goal. So in the quarterly designs, let's say for Q1, you said Pilates, to focus on that exercise for Q1, or the first 12-week year of the year. And you can do this anytime, it's just more at the beginning of the year, so that's what I'm saying. But you can do this for any time of the year, whenever you start, today, whenever. And then for Q1, 12-week year 1, for January, February, March, an idea that I would use is like, I would have created these playlists or follow these like workouts that I wanted to do on YouTube. There's like Move with Nicole and Lydia Mara, who do Pilates videos and workouts on YouTube, and both of them are really great. What I might do is go to their channels, see if they have any challenges, or build playlists of workouts I want to follow. So if you want to exercise 3 times a week, there's 4 weeks in each month. So I would create like a playlist of 12 videos from each of them. And then for January, what I would put in this box is like finish my own Lydia's playlist. Maybe for February, finish my own Move with Nicole's playlist. March, maybe find another creator, see how I'm doing, or mix the 2 playlists. What's in all of these boxes for me is not the how, it's not the why, but it is the milestones that I can make sure I hit so that I am on track for those designs. So I have those pages for all of the 12-week years, the 4 12-week years throughout the year, or the 4 quarters. And then the following pages of what I have is kind of what Fernanda has in her life binder. It's kind of all these different aspects of life and affirmations and vision boards for each of those. But all of these pages will funnel into something else I'm talking about later in the video. But basically, these pages are the different aspects of your life. So for example, I have health and body. I have lucky girl as a page itself because I'm really embracing that. I have people. I have finance and business. Those are the pages that I have. And on each page, I have an affirmation, or I have a vision board that I just pulled of pictures from Pinterest that I like identify with, I have that as a little collage on top, and then I have affirmations relating to those, that aspect underneath. This is very much like what she also did in her life binder. So one affirmation I have for health and body is just, I am grateful for my body. I feel like we often take for granted our body, and then every time I'm sick or something, I just realize it's so good to be healthy. Appreciate your body functioning well. So I just say, I'm grateful for my body, send a little love to it. Stuff like that. It's really simple. You can just Google these affirmations, or just think of where you how you want to feel, and then those affirmations just come naturally. So I'm grateful for my body. You don't need to search on Pinterest, but it's just honestly, it just came to me, so I just wrote it down. But something else is as it relates to YouTube and content, this is in my finance and business because, babe, I own businesses.
Babe, I own businesses.
So this came to me, you can't really Google stuff like this. I just wrote, my content is valuable, serves people, and makes them feel better. Because that's what I want. I want you guys to, not walk away feeling brain rotted, but walked away feeling better than you did when you came, and inspired, you know. So that is, I'm just happy thinking about that. So that is definitely an affirmation. Something else that I have on these pages that I didn't see in other life binders is trackers. So again, if there are some milestones with any of these aspects of your life, like, that would be good to put in. So maybe like for one of yours, it might be like traveling to different countries, so, or different places. If you're a reading girly, it can be, you know, read X number of books this year. So say your goal is to read 100 books, 20 books, 60 books, 80 books, 100 books, and putting that in your tracker, or specific titles that you want to read. Like, that can be in the trackers, and I just have these literally as bullet points or checklists, and then you can just cross those off as you go. And then to end the binder, I just have a little habit tracker, which I also just took directly off of my journal, because I mean, like, I already made it, so I'm just gonna print it, put it here. For this, it's very simple. It's just the name of the habit and then little bubbles as a tracker. Since this was taken from my journal, which was a 30-day challenge, there's only 30 bubbles, so it's gonna be like, I'm gonna have to hand draw a bubble for the months with the 31 days, but it's really no big deal. And yeah, I don't have this printed for every month of the year yet, because I feel like your habits that you want to track throughout the year are going to be different. So I'm just printing it at the start of every month as I go. Even if they're not daily habits, you can still use this tracker. You can just code it differently. So for example, for mine, that's like, I have posting YouTube. I just coded it, so I circled the date that it's supposed to be posted. So when I look back at, you know, tracking it, I know that only the circle that I've previously circled needs to be crossed and filled in, and all the other circles are going to be blank, and I don't have to feel bad about it because it's not a daily habit, it's a weekly habit. And that is the last page. I do have like some appendix pages, but I don't know if it's really helpful to talk about. One is the calendar for the month. I don't know, sometimes, you know, when I have paper and pen, like, I'll just think of random things that I might need to put on a calendar that I can transfer later. So yeah, I just have a calendar there. I have this chart of like all my social media accounts. So yeah, it's just like, depends on what goes on in your life, right? If you have different projects, which is essentially what it is for me, then I just have a chart laying it all out so I can just see it, because it can get messy up in here. And then the last page I have is an appendix. It's just an empty checklist in case I want to use it for something. I don't know. I was actually more experimenting with the printer because it has like a checklist template and I wanted to see. And I thought it looked cute, so I just put it as the last page in the binder. That is it for the life binder, but what I wanted to talk about with the vision board pages and the life aspect pages is all of those make a great manifestation movie. My camera's running out of battery, so I don't have time to talk about the manifestation movie itself, but I'm gonna post a TikTok, show the TikTok I made here talking about that and how this kind of all funnels into that. But basically, you can combine the images you use in the vision board with the affirmations to make this like ultimate manifesting vision board and convert it into a video. Maybe that makes sense. I'm gonna show you this TikTok now, and hopefully you can see how that works together. So I know we're all vision board girlies, but I did want to tell you about this method that just came to me again. Not this piece of dust. This idea of vision boards, or what it really is, like visualization. This method is so much more powerful. I first heard about this 2 years ago, but then I didn't keep up with it, and now I have to bring it back. So you know when people typically make vision boards to just collect pictures of, you know, what they want, like their dream life, that kind of stuff, and then they just collage the pictures and whatever. And if that works for you, great. But if you're someone who's like more of one who just like learns better through video, or like processes information better, like basically if you use TikTok or YouTube as a search engine, like you're probably one of these people. So the idea here is turning your vision board into a video. There's two ways that you can do this. They kind of hold the same ideas. I'm going to tell you about the first time that I heard it, and then the second time that, you know, recently that it came back to me. So the first way that you can do this is by, you know, finding your vision board pictures and then collaging them into like CapCut or like a video editor. So then it kind of plays as a slideshow, and then on top of that you like according to the picture, you say an affirmation that relates to that. For example, if one of your things on your vision board is like taking better care of yourself, right? Then for the image that you put in the slideshow, or you could put multiple, but it could be like, you know, healthy food, like a sheet mask or something like that. And then you could be like, and then with a voiceover, you say over the pictures, right? You say, I love taking care of myself, or I take great care of my body, or something. So just do that with everything, and then you just have this like little video in your pocket that you can always refer to, you know, like, what are you doing your life for? Okay. So that's the first way I heard it, and the second way I most recently heard it is actually from Michelle Phan's video. She did like a 2023 reflection video on YouTube, and I love the title she gave this. She called it a manifestation movie. It's the same idea of putting your vision in a video, but the way she does it is slightly different. So she uses actual video in the video, so it's not like a slideshow of pictures. And she basically said to like find like maybe a movie scene or something that really resonates with you, and like you feel like, oh my gosh, this is like everything I want to be. She actually showed a little bit of her manifestation movie, and she said that she put a lot of like Sailor Moon clips in hers because that's like what really inspires her, and that's just kind of her thing, her vibe. And then she didn't do a voiceover of the affirmations, but she just put it as like large text on the screen. And I remember some of hers are like, I am a healer, or something like that, like whatever you want. She says she watched it like every night before going to sleep, and everything just like worked out in her favor, because when you're about to go to sleep or when you're sleepy, like your mind's more open, your subconscious mind is more open. Either way, I think it's super powerful. So if you're gonna make it, let me know which style you're gonna do, 1 or 2. It's never too late to make them, okay? I know it's not the beginning of the year, but it's never too late, and let's just level up, y'all. But yeah, that is the entire binder. Thanks for doing the walkthrough with me. I hope this is helpful. My camera's running out of battery. If I have any links, it will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, like, and I'll see you in the next video.